Hi guys, and welcome to another batch of your replays. Today I felt like light tank, so I picked out a couple of light tank replays from my replays folder. And the first one I came across is this game in a Luchs with Giannis ST96. I hope I'm pronouncing your name right, Giannis. Please forgive me if I'm not. But yeah, Luchs. The information that was sent in with this replay is that Giannis had rebought this tank and it was still deadly. So he is here on Mines in a matchup that's as bad as it gets for the Luchs. It's a tier 7 game. He's bottom tier, but he's a light tank. And let's just see how good this tank is and how deadly it is up against tier 7 tanks. So as per usual, haven't seen the replays today. I'm just recording live. I've looked at the end plates. One of the reasons I picked out both replays today is both players in their light tanks picked up a special medal. So Giannis ST96 is going to be moving up towards the hill on Mines. Don't know why the minimap keeps getting smaller. Hasn't spotted any enemy tanks moving up towards the hill. A couple of good players on the enemy team. In fact, this could be quite a tough matchup. But Giannis has got his looks set up for passive scouting. He's got his binocs, he's got his camo net. Look at all those spots. I think he spotted basically most of the enemy team there. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11. He spotted 11 tanks with that spot. So he's moving forward, and indeed it does look as if the enemy team are going to be camping base hard. So he's spotted an enemy Luchs. And he put a couple of shots in. Still has half his clip left, looking for another potential victim. Now, the one thing I love about, well, I love a lot about the Luchs. It's fast, it's maneuverable, it's cute. But he has no problems penning the side of an arrow. The main thing I love about the Luchs is its gun. It's got 95mm of penetration, 30 alpha damage per shot. In a tier 4 scout. Now, considering he fires off 10 shots and he's got 30 damage per shot, he can do potentially 300 damage per clip if he hits and pens all his shots. So he's already done a little bit of damage to a Luchs and an Arl. He's moving up on this KV85. KV85's on 344. No, he's not. He's on 112. And now he's dead. So there is the first kill for Giannis ST96. The premium ammo has got 110mm of penetration, so it's not that much better. 20mm extra penetration. Usually what you can pen with 90mm, you'll also pen with 110. But he's playing rather cautiously. No one else followed him up the hill. A T-43 has come up and is showing his rear. And there's another. Oh, he sets him on fire as well. This is T-43. Looks as if he's going to burn to death. Nope. Nope. Fire goes out, leaving him on 22 hit points. That was rather unlucky. So the reload on the Luchs is about 18 seconds. And unfortunately, Giannis doesn't reload in time to finish off the T-43. But it looks as if the T-43 is completely ignoring him, so Giannis is moving in for a kill. Oh, a little bit of derp on the side of the rocks. Takes his time, aims more carefully, goes for another reload. But yeah, 300 alpha damage if you can hit and pen all your shots. That's awesome. The other problem is, as I say, the reload, but the major issue I have with the Luchs is the fact the tank is all engine. So usually when you get shot at in this tank, it takes out my engine, and quite often the same shot that takes out tracks also takes out my engine. But there you go. I mean, he just opens up on the side of a T-29 tier 7 heavy tank, 182 damage, so he didn't even hit and pen all his shots. And he's up to almost 1,000 damage. He's got 2 kills, looking for his next victim, a Tiger 1 on low health. I think that's who Giannis is looking for. He finds him, he aims, and 2 shots in. There's kill number 3, goes for another reload. So still an IS and a KV2 at the base of the hill, but I thought he was going to try and do some spotting, but looks like his team are winning very, very comfortably. 5 tanks left on the enemy team. And you could see how devastating a Luchs can be if it's left alone. So he's moving up. Another... Oh, going for the KV2 this time. And gets the kill. So 156 damage into the side of the KV2. Someone else shot him. But there's kill number 4. Now remember, he's a tier 4 light tank in a tier 7 game. He's on 4 kills. He's done 1173 damage. He hasn't reloaded. And decides not to shoot the IS. So still hasn't reloaded. Oh, okay. Unfortunately gets spotted by a tiger on the other side of the map. Takes his first damage. 1 hit, and he's only got 53 hit points left. That's the downside. That's the downside of being a tier 4 in a tier 7 game. So he's a 1-hit kill. His team are winning, but not as comfortably as they were a couple of moments ago. It is 5 versus 2, just a Stug and a Tiger, 1 left. And Giannis still hasn't reloaded. I don't know if this is a bug. Maybe he is reloaded, maybe he's not. Maybe it's a bug in the replay. I'm not quite sure. But his team take out the Tiger. There's 1 tank left on the enemy team, a Stug 3G, tier 5 TD. So Giannis is going hunting. He was last spotted down in this corner. And I really, really hope it's a bug in the replay, because he's only got 2 shots in his tank, or in his gun. So he moves up, ambushes the Stug. And yeah, okay. Maybe he forgot to reload. He had plenty of ammo left, but 2 shots into the Stug, both penned, and unfortunately dies just as the game ends. Oh well, I told you, I don't watch these replays before recording. I didn't know that happened. I should have maybe put that into a snapshot video. So that was an ace tanker for Giannis ST96 in his Luchs. And as he says in the replay description, just rebought it, still remembers how to be deadly. It's a fantastic little tank. Ace tanker, he also picked up an Orlix medal and Scout. Now I've ruined the surprise because today both games are in light tanks and both games are Orlix medals games. Awarded for destroying 3 or more enemy tanks or tank destroyers with a light tank. But the targets must be at least 2 tiers higher than the player's tank. And Giannis ST96 managed to take out 4 enemy tanks in that game. Unfortunately came to a sad end when there was only 1 enemy tank left. And I really don't know what happened with the clip and not reloading, but he had a really, really good game. 12, 8, E7 XP as a tier 4 in a tier 7 game. 1300 damage done, 4 kills. Really, really nice, good, and a good demonstration of how deadly the Luchs can be. 52 shots fired, 44 penetration or hits, and 33 penetrations. The gun is very, very good. If you don't pull the fire button and you don't actually spam your shots, the gun can actually be quite accurate, but the penetration is fantastic for a tier 4. 1297 damage. He received 2 hits and 2 penetrations. Again, it's a light tank, it's got no armor, but he spotted 10, damaged 8, destroyed 4, did 904 assistance damage, and earned 33,500 credits with a premium account. Really, really good money-making game. 1930 XP on a ×3 event, a game with a premium account, left him on just short of 6,000 XP. Really, really nice game in a tank I absolutely love. Decided to rebuy, decided to keep it, and I still play my Luchs quite regularly. It's a lot of fun to play, and if you like light tanks, I do recommend the Luchs. Moving on, we've got Sagan Warrior in his AMX 12T here on Prokhorovka. Now, the AMX 12T probably hasn't featured a lot in this channel because you don't get very many good replays in an AMX 12T. I didn't like the tank very much when I played it, and this is the first AMX 12T replay I've received. So I believe, other than my AMX 12T Ace Tanker, this is the only time this tank is featured on the channel. He is here on Prokhorovka, and he's a tier 6 light tank in a tier 9 game. Again, really, really bad matchmaking. I mean, as bad as it gets for the AMX 12T. But it looks as if he's going to be patrolling the mid-ridge. Again, haven't seen the game, looked at the end results. And Sagan Warrior is... he's not exactly an experienced player. He's got 3k games played, so he's still relatively new to the game. I remember the first time I started playing World of Tanks, I used to get quite upset. I had about 5,000 games played, and players would comment that I was still new to the game, and it used to upset me. I don't know why, but I've come to realize that, to be honest, you probably need about 10,000 games under your belt before you start to learn everything that there is to know about the game regarding weak spots, regarding game mechanics. But mainly due to the fact you need to get to tier 10, you need to play a lot of tier 10 games, it takes a lot of time to play every tier and get to learn all the tanks at every tier. But Sagan Warrior, I'm just going to call you Sagan if you don't mind, but he's just doing some patrolling. Again, this flaming mini-map. Don't know why it minimizes automatically. He's doing some patrolling on the 1-2 lines. He's done some active spotting in the middle. Didn't spot very much. Now he's going to be setting up here on the 1-2 lines, which isn't a bad idea, considering he's got 4 tanks sitting down on J1, J2. They need someone to spot for him. And a bit like the first replay, he's got a scout outfitted as a passive scout. He's using binocs, he's using a camo net. He's not getting a lot of joy from this bush. And I would probably have pushed a little bit further up. But yeah, the reason the 12T hasn't featured on the channel much is I didn't like the tank. You can see in this matchup that the 12T is matched against a Bulldog. Now, I'd much rather be driving a Bulldog than an AMX 12T. And the reason is that the horsepower to weight ratio on this tank isn't great. Even though it's quite maneuverable and has a decent top speed, it's not exactly... it doesn't accelerate very well. It's quite sluggish, or at least I remember it being quite sluggish. Also, the gun is not very good. It's only got 144mm of penetration, 135 alpha damage, which is fine when you're shooting a lot of tanks, but when you consider that he's going to be shooting a lot of tier 9 tanks, I think the gun is a little bit underwhelming. He's only using standard AP. He doesn't have that much ammo. He's got a 6-shot clip, and he's only got 30 rounds in the tank. I'm trying to remember my experiences in the 12T. Oh, the other thing I remember about the 12T is I really, really didn't like the gun depression or the gun elevation. Particularly the gun elevation. The gun elevation on the tank is very, very poor. And I do remember situations where I simply could not get my gun up to hit targets that were above me. But I sold the tank very, very quickly after finishing with it, and enjoyed the 1375 a lot more, but not enough to keep it, and absolutely love the 1390. So if you can get through the AMX 12T grind, there's a couple of decent tanks waiting for you. But I'm talking a lot because nothing is happening. Sagan Warrior is doing a passive scouting thing, and... oh well, okay. He's not looking, but he is spotting. He does seem to be spotting the tanks in the middle, in E5, E6. He does have spots on them, but he's not spotting anything directly ahead of him on the 1-2 lines. So, passive scouting game's not always the most exciting, but it's still a really, really important role you can play for your team. Now, if it was me, I would be aiming at these targets because you get more view range slightly over the front of the tank than you actually do over the side or rear. Oh, he's woke up. Okay, wasn't even sure whether or not he was still in the game or whether he was AFK. Alright, so Sagan Warrior is moving forward. Someone sent me a replay recently saying that They actually went AFK midway through the game and then came back to it. That might have been it. This might be it. I can't remember. But Sagan has woke up, and now he is advancing up the 1-2 lines, trying to get spots for the tanks behind him. He moves forward to a bush, stops, lets his binocs and camo net kick in. And advances once more. So he's advancing very, very slowly, but you notice every time he advances, he lets his binocs kick in. And he's driving in first person, so we don't know whether or not the bushes in front of him are clear or whether or not they're solid. If they're solid, he can't see through them. So, a little bit of advice is just when you're playing your scout, Sagan Warrior, try and make sure if you are moving from bush to bush that the bush you're moving into goes transparent. Otherwise, you can't see through it. But Bulldog in the middle, Sagan Warrior still advancing slowly, letting his binocs kick in as he advances. But there's an IS-3 that's advanced to his right. There's an IS-3 also in E1. Now, the IS-3s don't have the best of view range, and a T-95 has just taken out an IS-3 in the middle, so we know there's a T-95 around here somewhere. There's that really, really crappy gun elevation. Yeah, he can't get his gun up. Yeah, the gun elevation on the AMX 12T was a big, big letdown. One of the reasons I was very, very happy to sell this tank. Just because he's on a slight slope, he can't get his gun up to shoot tanks in the middle. Assuming he wants to shoot them. So again, he has a tortoise moving up. I probably would have been a little bit more aggressive, but maybe he's aware of that T-95 sitting at the back somewhere. So again, he's in third person. He's not making sure the bushes in front of him are transparent. I'm not sure he's getting any spots directly ahead of him. So someone has spotted the 30. Don't know whether that's his spot. But again, look at that gun elevation. He cannot get his gun up. Even if he wanted to shoot the Pershing and Bulldog, he can't. I think it's the only tank I've ever played where the gun elevation was a problem. You normally don't hear people talk about gun elevation being a strength or being a weakness, but on this tank it's definitely a weakness. So his team have advanced ahead of him. Now he is the light tank. He should be the one doing the spots. He is taking his passive role very, very seriously, but it doesn't look as if the IS-3 and the Tortoise have spotted anyone in A1, A2. And his team are collapsing. Wow, his team are actually losing right now. Actually, on paper, the enemy team were better to begin with, but the score is 8-11. So, Sagan Warrior... Oh, he finally opens up, gets a shot into the Bulldog, tracks him, misses his next shot, gets one in. And a beautiful shot on the move to take out the Bulldog. So there's kill number 1. And again, that gun elevation, can't get his gun up to see whether or not he can shoot the Pershing. So his team have just managed to pull it back. They killed a 30, they killed a Bulldog. It is now 4 versus 5. And again, he's being very, very passive. Someone has spotted the T-95. And the Pershing is here as well. Pershing's on low health. And this 144 millimeters of penetration, more than enough to go through the lower glacis on a Pershing. There's kill number 2. So there's 3 enemy tanks left. We know the Centurion 7-1 is in the middle. We know the T-95 is camping. It's just Arty. That's the only tank that hasn't been spotted. And again, I probably would have been a lot more active. I probably would have been at the front line trying to get spots. It's now 3 versus 3. So the one thing I would say is it's a good thing Sagan Warrior isn't charging down the T-95, because that Centurion 7-1 would be able to take him out. but he needs to get spots for his team. The Ferdy is on full health, he's advancing. No idea. Tortoise is a one-hit kill, yep. So Sagan Warrior really needs to help out this Tortoise. 7-1 still in the middle. So Centurion is, according to the minimap, moving south. His team are telling him to scout, so he's finally moving forward. He's spotted the T-95. And you can see the 56 kilometers an hour top speed is quite good. The problem is I just found the acceleration on this tank, combined with poor gun elevation and a lackluster gun, meant it wasn't as much fun to play. And I like light tanks, so when a light tank isn't fun to play, that pretty much says it all. But French tanks, they're assassins. He goes, gets his third kill on the Centurion 7-1. Unfortunately, the Lorraine enemy arty take out the Ferdy. So Sagan Warrior goes for a reload, and now he's going to be hunting down arty, going to try and flank the T-95. His team are clicking the map on A8, so the Ferdy knows that arty is in that corner. And there he goes. So Sagan Warrior spots the Lorraine, aims fully. You see the alpha damage is not fantastic, but the rate of fire is good enough. 3 shots into the Lorraine. He goes for another reload, 19-second reload. And it's nice to see that the IS-3 on the enemy team is congratulating him. It's not often usual. Oh, T-95 is spotted and T-95 is looking this way. Oh, and the Tortoise bounces on the rear of the T-95. That guy's so lucky. So again, Sagan Warrior trying to spot the T-95. Tortoise is not going to have shots. And it looks like the enemy, or the friendly Tortoise, is actually advancing. So normally you see negative comments in chat. It's nice to see a lot of positive comments in this particular game. Now the Ferdy has just done something even I forgot about. Ferdy in chat just said time. I failed to realize there's only 1 minute 45 seconds left of this game. So the AMX is relocating. Or I should say Sagan Warrior is relocating. He doesn't want to come over the railway tracks while a T-95 is looking straight at him. And the T-95 can one-hit kill him, so all depends on what gun the T-95 is using, but I would assume that he can one-hit kill him. So the Tortoise has advanced, puts a shot at the T-95, leaves him on 56 health. 2v1 here, and now it's 1v1. And Sagan Warrior, as I say, does not use premium. He's just got the standard AP. He goes on the attack and drives in front of the gun, but he has the reload beaten, gets to his side, gets a shot in on the move. Nice shot, and finishes the game with kill number 5. So that was an ace tanker for Sagan Warrior in the AMX 12T, and as I say, the two things that link today's replays, other than the fact they're light tanks, is the Orlix medal. He picked up an Orlix medal for that effort. Yeah, 12T, it's an underwhelming light tank. I don't recommend it, but I know someone out there probably loves the tank and plays it really well. Sagan Warrior finished up with 1190 XP. It's only 742 damage done, but he did get 5 kills. A lot of French tanks can be used as assassins, and I think Sagan Warrior showed that, finishing off low health tanks. But the main thing was that even though it may not have been the most exciting replay, Sagan Warrior began the game actively, went into a passive scouting position, and then finished the game actively. And he ended up earning 3,300 assistance damage. So even though at points during that game it looked as if a scout was not making a contribution, you got to remember scouts have the view range, and They don't have to be driving around like madmen in order to make a contribution to a game. His spots got the team 3,300 damage done. He fired 10, hit 9, penned 9, which was a nice performance from the gun. I didn't find the gun on the tank very good, but he was assassinating. Not a lot of damage, but he did pick up 5 kills. He spotted 2, damaged 5, destroyed 5, and as I say, the assistance damage was impressive. He earned 40,000 credits with a premium account, 1798 XP on his first game of the day with a bonus thrown in, times 2 on a premium account, which left him on 4,462. So overall, I thought it was a really nice scout game from a player who isn't that experienced at the game. He only has 3,000 games played, probably even less at the time he sent this replay in. But he did show good knowledge of spotting mechanics. He did show good knowledge of using his camo net and his binocs. And I'm sure he is only going to get better and better in light tanks as a result. I want to thank Sagan Warrior for sending that replay in a tank I haven't featured on the channel, other than one game as my ace tanker. And I want to thank Giannis ST96 for his game in the Luchs. 2 really nice Orlix medal games. I want to thank you guys at home for watching, and I'll see you next time.